Hi guys, I'm here in Cefn in Usk in South Wales. It's a site steeped in history, wonderful wildlife and lots of other interesting features as well. So I'm just on my way to meet the site manager Rob and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Hi Rob, we're here at Cefn. You're the site manager here. Can you tell me a little bit about the site?
It's got a very long history, pre-medieval. There's been a house on this site for a very long time, up until sort of the war, the Second World War. It was still occupied, but after that it was turned into a convalescent home first for troops and people in need and local people in need, and then it became a maternity hospital until the 1970s, and that's very important because a lot of people in the local area were born here. As you can see, there's some flowers here. There's somebody leaving something in memory of their child or their mother. It's not, who knows, but there's a very deep connection with the site.
Is that what this sculpture is for, the maternity hospital that used to be on site here?
Exactly. So we put this sculpture in to memorialise and commemorate the fact that this site's been so important for the local people for such a long time. When we took on the site, the hospital had long gone, but we wanted something to tie it back to the local community, because a lot of people who do come here because they were born here or they know the site.
Do you find that they visit often and do they care for the place?
Because they have that deep connection with the site, we find that visitors are very respectful of the site. So people are very good at taking care of their dogs, looking after the paths, closing gates, taking care of livestock, that kind of thing, picking up their litter, because we don't have bins on site. So because they feel that connection, we find that it's a very well cared for and respected site. It's a very unusual site because it was a manor house essentially. It's very, very varied. When we took on the site, it was pasture land, the majority of it, sheep pasture, and that's why we took it on, because we wanted to plant up those fields, to put a woodland back on this site. So it was one of the first plant sites in Wales, I think. You know, plant means child in Welsh. So
and that's a Welsh government scheme, is it not?
Exactly, yeah. So every time a child is born in Wales or adopted, the parents or the carers get a tree dedicated to them, and this is one of those sites. So every tree on this site means something to a child in Wales somewhere. It's all about growth and tyfu, about Maggie, about bringing up and the future generations. So it's important for that reason, but also because it was a manor house. The house is long gone, but there's a fabulous orchard planted in the Victorian period. There's a fabulous pinetum, some of the largest conifer trees in Wales. They're all part of this sort of grand estate, this old country houses. And the walled garden was part of that fed the hospital, and all that still survives. So it's a wonderful place for visitors to come and explore.
That sounds fascinating. Should we go and explore?
Absolutely, let's go.
Okay, lovely site, isn't it?
It's beautiful, yeah.
So Rob, this looks like an orchard to me, am I right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is Victorian, parts of it. You can tell that by how tall the trees are. They don't grow trees like this anymore. They don't have dwarfing stocks. It's a massive pear tree,
Yeah.
but not for eating.
No? What's it for then?
For making perry.
Ah, lovely.
Quite a few cider trees. It's mostly pears and apples, but this is a very traditional orchard, which we will get grazing in again eventually.
Yeah.
But it's one of the gems of the site. Beautiful, secluded valley, south-facing, warm, full of insects. It's one of the draws and attractions of the site.
Yeah, well, you can see why.
So this would have been for supplying the estate and the workers, essentially, keeping them happy and active in their work.
Is that still the case today, Rob?
Unfortunately not. We do pick some of the fruits when we have open days, but for juice mostly.
Ah, right.
And also the perry trees is very characteristic to get this very large tree. It's very wild, much closer to the wild stock than we have today. Today we'd put them on dwarfing stocks, so they'd be small and compact and easy to pick, but then that's the varieties they had.
I can see why it would be a popular place for humans as well as animals as well. You can hear so many birds singing in the trees here and insects.
It's quite a rare survivor traditional orchard like this, but the amount of wildlife you get in it is, compared to modern orchards, is just fantastic. It's totally different.
And I hear you have beehives on site as well, do
you? Yeah, in the war garden, the old Victorian war garden, which our volunteers care for now. We also have an apiarist. I think she has 6 hives at the moment. She's waiting for you, actually, if you'd like to meet her.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we'll do.
Brilliant. I'll see you later on.
Tell us what you've been doing today, Rhiannon.
So I've just done a full inspection on all my hives, and some of the bees have got a bit angry. It's quite overcast now, so they don't like being cold at this time of year. So I'm wearing a full hive suit to stop myself, well, try to stop myself getting stung, and yeah, take my little stragglers with me.
Brilliant. Well, I'll keep my distance then.
I would, yes.
So what got you into it in the first place then?
Both of my children have got disabilities, and we use a lot of honey-based creams for my daughter, so buying those was getting very expensive, so we thought we would do some courses and get involved with beekeeping so we could make our own honey creams and lotions and potions for her, really. For my daughter's skin, it's been amazing. The benefits of local honey are well known across the world, really. So, yeah, local honey for her skin has been amazing. And my son's got ADHD, and being around the bees and being a junior beekeeper just helps keep him calm and really, really settles him. The noise they make, it's quite therapeutic as well.
Is it true that local sort of honey helps with hay fever as well? Did I hear that?
Personally, I think it does, yes. There's lots of information that if you have a spoonful of honey every day that comes from within 5 miles of your house, then yeah, that does help with hay fever over a longer period of time. And obviously honey's antibacterial, it's antiviral, so it's got so many benefits that there's not really any reason not to have a spoonful of honey every day.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of benefits to humans coming from bees, but what are the benefits that an environment like this has from the bees that are on site?
Obviously it's great for the bees. There's lots of different trees, you know, flowers, grasses, at all different times of the year, so you know they've got a good source of pollen and nectar to come in all year round. And then obviously the bees give back by pollinating the trees, pollinating the flowers, the grasses, any vegetable plantings that are going on, you know, they pollinate. They're fabulous pollinators. That's their main role in the environment. So yeah, they give a great benefit to a location like this.
Excellent. Well, it looks like the bees are still buzzing around you, Rhiannon, so I'll let you get back to your work.
Wonderful, thank you.
Cheers. From the rare old orchard, there are wide, gentle sloping paths making it easy for young and old to follow through the new woodland. As the very first site in the Welsh Government's plant project, you can be sure that you're walking through trees which are planted for children born or adopted in Wales since 2008. This part of the site was designed by the local community who helped plant many of the trees here. We also protect the ancient and veteran trees here, grown since the 19th century. Some of the walled garden bees have turned these into their new hive and are now living as wild bees. I'm meeting Rob again at the oldest oak tree in the wood. He's brought with them some resources which help children and adults alike identify the trees here. Hey Rob.
Hiya, how you doing?
What you up to?
Well, we've got some great resources for all ages. We've got ancient tree ID, leaf ID, blossom ID, even trees in winter, and this handy leaf ID guide as well, which is a great resource for kids.
Fantastic. So, this is brilliant, obviously, for schools and community groups. But anything for families?
Well, yeah. So this comes from the pack, the family pack we have, which is for our members. Got the app as well on your phone?
Yes, I've got the app, yeah.
So they're all online, all free. download them, print them off, come to a wood like Cefn, where there's no shortage of young trees, old trees, veteran trees. Everything you see on the forms and the leaflets, you can spend all day.
So we've got an ancient tree or a veteran tree right here, have we?
Absolutely.
And I can use these sheets to sort of ID them?
Yep. So it shows all the features.
So what am I looking for then, Rob?
So you've got old deadwood up in the crown there. It's fallen off. Deadwood on the floor. Got the girth of the tree, the holes, the cavities, the knobbly aspects. There's probably some fungus on there as well. Everything that makes that tree so valuable for wildlife.
Amazing. Brilliant. So I'm going to take one of these then, and I'm going to go off and do some tree ID on my own.
Okay,
Cheers,
we'll see you
Rob.
later on.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Bye-bye. Our free Tree ID resources can be downloaded from our website under Tree Tools for Schools. There is something to help identify nature in woodlands throughout the year. And in a site like this, thriving with wildlife, you'll need all the help you can get. For more information about Cefn, wildlife resources or the plant project, follow these links.